Huracan STO, and it is absolutely brilliant. No, it's not. This car is a complete charlatan, and I'll tell you for why. Because in a world of fake intakes and scoops, this is the biggest fake of all. Look at it. You think it should go to some sort of nice plenum, don't you? Nope, nothing. Not connected to anything at all. They say it's to help extract heat from the engine, but it's exactly the same engine as in a Huracan Evo. 631 brake horsepower, 417 pounds-foot of torque, like the other rear-wheel drive one. Doesn't need any more heat extracting, does it? STO. The O stands for omologato. What's it homologating? Nothing. This car is a fake. What do you got to say about that then? Alright, so it's not all completely genuine, but plenty about it is. For a start, the brakes. Brembo's CCMR brakes, which are absolutely fantastic. Full of feel, full of power.
These are the same brakes used on the McLaren Senna, and the R stands for racing. They're said to be particularly effective at dissipating heat.
Then there are the wheels, which you can get in magnesium, and if you get the half cage, then that's in titanium.
Neither, it should be said, are fitted to this particular car.
The tyres have been specifically designed by Bridgestone, so you get the sports for the road, or race for the track, which are like Michelin's Cup 2Rs. This really has got more downforce as well.
Gone is the clever ALA system, but the new front arch vents combine with a large manually adjustable rear wing to offer 3 levels of downforce, ranging from 324 kilos at 174 miles an hour up to 420 kilos. That's over 50% up on the Performante.
Then there's the fact that this is lighter, 43 kilos lighter than the Huracan Performante. Alright, so that had some drive shafts in the front, and this doesn't. But this also, it just feels light. It feels much lighter than that Performante. We've got a windscreen with thinner glass, so that's 30% lighter. And everything apart from the roof and the outer door skins is composite.
Lamborghini actually went to the bother of designing a whole new front clamshell, slightly awkwardly christening it the Cofango, which is a combination of Cofano or hood and Parafango or fender. Amusingly, the equivalent English portmanteau would be Honda. Anyway, the main point is that it helps reduce the STO's overall dry weight to 1339 kilos, which is light-ish.
And as I say, it feels lightweight in here because they've taken out more sound deadening, and that's half of the appeal. And then there are the looks. Fine, so some of it's, well, not telling the whole truth perhaps, but I just think it looks great. As a design, I think it looks really cohesive. On the bigger Aventador, it might look a bit too much, but on the compact Huracan, I think it's ace. And there's another reason I think these looks are appealing too. When you're young and you go to the toy shop and you can choose some Hot Wheels, what do you go for? Do you go for the ones that are sort of normal looking, like you might see on the road outside the shop? No, you don't do that, do you? You go for the ones with the biggest wings and 2 engines, like the Twin Mill or Rigstorm or Flash Drive. You want extraordinary. You want things where your imagination runs riot. And that's the sort of thing that channels, isn't it? It just makes you think of the Hot Wheels and makes you smile as a result. Right, now which is going to be quicker? Flash Drive or turbo-charged?
Okay, I'm sure some of you remain unconvinced. After all, the STO's starting price of £260,000 is not exactly pocket money. In fact, it's about £100,000 more than the already excellent Huracan Evo rear-wheel drive. But I maintain that the STO is truly fantastic. Why? Well, because all those ingredients, little, large, genuine and questionable, somehow come together to make it spine-tinglingly unforgettable to drive.
They've got rid of the dynamic steering and just given it this unbelievably quick rag. The response is incredible. 13.4 to 1 is the steering ratio, but it's the way it tacks into corners. The whole car moves, it's not just the front end, it moves as one. It's so quick that yes, it does take a little while just to get used to, a bit like the Ferrari steering, but as soon as you're dialed in, it is fantastic. And I love the way the whole car just gets in, and it's a bit like if you've ever been skiing, then being able to use the rear, the tail of the ski straight away in a corner. The whole car moves, it's so agile. The ride is hardcore. When you get in, you're quickly left under no illusions that this is a very serious car. And you think initially it might be too much for the road, but the amazing thing is that it's not. This copes brilliantly with bumps. Yes, it's busy, but it's always there. It stays in contact with the ground. It's not trying to pitch you off the road. This is a really bumpy stretch of tarmac, and yet it copes fantastically. It really gives you confidence over these crests, into the corners. You can just place it so accurately. And even when wheels, sometimes more than one, leave the ground, you know exactly where the car is going to be when it lands, how much grip you're going to have. I love this. With the view out of the front, I mean, it feels like you can see under most modern SUVs if you're following them. We've got 3 modes in here, all adjusted by this little switch down here. So STO is the main one for road, and it's enough really. You can put it into Trofeo, and it might be nice to be able to have a sort of individual setting, so you could choose some bits from this. And to be honest, it does still cope. The damping is fundamentally so good that you can drive it in Trofeo on the road, but it's probably a bit too much of a wild ride. And then we've got the bottom one, which is really just for the wet, and then you've got the engine. I mean,
on paper, against its turbocharged and hybrid rivals, it obviously looks a little behind, nearly 200 brake horsepower behind in fact. But while it might lack the ultimate hyperdrive turbocharged thwack of a McLaren, it counters with a breathtaking clarity and alacrity of response. And, of course, music.
Sound of that 5.2 litre naturally aspirated V10. Do I want another 100 brake horsepower? No. This is plenty. And this gearbox, doppio frizione, dual clutch. Just sounds cooler in Italian, like everything. So theatrical and so fast. Love these big sharp paddles.
Like the recently launched Porsche Cayman GT4 RS, this feels like it is sending out the internal combustion engine in no-holds-barred style. A really extreme variant with a rawness and unbridled joy in the process of suck, squeeze, bang, blow.
This is a driving experience that just sucks you in, makes you absolutely focus on what you're doing. I love it for that. This is the Huracan STO, and yes, it is brilliant.
Thank you very much indeed for watching that. We're standing here by the huge viaduct. Hope you enjoyed that. Please let us know if you did in the comments down below, and please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because it really has helped us. Also on Instagram at Carfection Films and at Henry Catchpole. Thank you for watching. See you next time.